We're here with one of the stars of the Florida Project, Bria. So nice to meet you. The film was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Every performance in it, I think, like showed the talent of each actor, but at the same time, it was a mix of actors who had like done previous work and some newcomers to the scene. So what was it like on set working with people who were new to the scene, new to acting, some people with limited experience, and then working with someone like Willem? What was that like?
Well, I think Sean Baker just has sort of an amazing way he casts, where he just really got such a good group of people together that we were all so comfortable with each other. It was just this sort of weird thing where we all connected really well. And I think, having people like Willem who could sort of help and push us along, as well as having an amazing acting teacher on set that we worked with for a few weeks before we started filming on set. So by the time we started filming, we were all a little bit more comfortable. And it just, all these sort of factors really helped make the environment just what it was.
So what was your confidence level like
Oh my God.
being cast, like as a first timer
I was shook.
going into
I was
it?
shook.
You were shook. But
Oh
like were the
my
kids
God.
shook when they came to
No, because
they just assumed.
they're kids.
Right.
So to them, they're like, I get to eat ice cream and curse.
Yeah,
and,
this is what the rest of my life is gonna be.
Yeah, but to me, my biggest thing, like, it all happened so fast that it didn't hit me until I was on the plane flying to film. And because I'd been there for my audition, but I went back home and then whatever, so I was flying out to film. And it just, like, punched me in the face. Like, the feeling of, like, I was like, wait, like, this isn't a joke. I'm like, I signed the contract. Like, it's Sean Baker. Like, it's Willem Dafoe. I'm like, this script is really good. Like, I've never acted, but I signed on to do this. Like, I'm on my way there. And I was like, okay, like, I have to give this 150%. And I was like, I need to go into this. Like, I was like, I can't, like, this is the one thing in my life I can't expect to, like, sail through by doing decent, you know? So I kind of, like,
give it 75%.
Yeah, and, like, that sort of just really hit me. And I was like, just so thankful for Sean for believing in me enough, knowing I didn't have the skill to back, especially for the financiers and everything, for him to be like, I want a total unknown who's never acted from Instagram. Imagine how it sounded, So I was just very motivated by the fact that he believed in me. And I think that kind of pushed me to want to do as best as I could.
So who was your friend who you messaged right away to give you like that confidence boost? To be like, okay, you're gonna go ahead and do this. Like you signed the contract, or you're going through the audition. Who's the person who you like? Listen, I need you to get at me right now.
It's so sad. The person that I first told was one of my friends who was the only like actress I knew at the time, because I wasn't in the industry. I didn't know anyone who acted. She actually like passed away a few months ago, and it's really sad. Yeah, But it's just crazy because I remember I didn't know who to tell, because and it's such a surreal thing. And I feel like even all my friends after filming, when I came back home, like they're like, okay, you filmed the movie, but like no one was there. No one understood the scale of how magical it was and how special it really was. And I think it didn't really hit anybody until after it came out and everyone saw it, and they're like, wait, you did that? Like that's what you were doing? And I was like, yeah.
At the time, it was treating you like a normal person.
Like it was totally, And then after they watched it, everyone's like, and I'm like, okay.
So, we spoke briefly. What's your favorite scene from the Florida Project?
Oh my God.
When you see it, like, can't cheat and say like all of them are great. Like there has to be one that every time you see it, that it hits you on like a visceral level.
On different, there's different ones just for different sorts of emotions. One of my favorite ones is the just because I actually say the quote all the time in my real life now. But the scene where we're eating pizza and I say pepperoni costs money. Every time me and my best friend order pizza, we always get pepperoni, and every time she orders it, she's like, pepperoni costs money. And I mean, it just ended up being like this little thing.
As a pizza aficionado, that hits me. Like, every topping
costs money. Like that's
pocket.
Yeah, so that was one of just like, and I really loved when she was like wiping it on her pillowcase. She's like, it's my pillowcase. I go wipe piece of grease on it if I want. And I'm like, okay, girl.
That's just like, it's not a motel or a hotel. That's your home at that point.
And I really loved the pool scene with Mela, who played Ashley. That whole snippet they ended up using was all improv. And Sean just kind of like gave us points to hit, but it was crazy because, I mean, now she's a mother. She wasn't at the time. And we both didn't have kids, and like to be able to like bounce off conversations where we so deeply were in character was really fun and something that I never had done before. So that was one of my favorite scenes just because of the way it was set up.
Now, for me, the two scenes that stood out the most is when you had the confrontation with Ashley, and like
I
watching it,
fucked her
it almost came out of nowhere. You did fuck her up.
Yeah,
I
her
said
up.
two things. Like, one, you fucked her up, and two, it seems so Florida. Watching that scene,
Yes.
something that you down like that. So,
Yeah.
what was that like to film? Or
Well, they used a stunt double for her, but not for me.
Right.
And I really spent like all day learning the stunts. It was very well choreographed.
I mean, you have a good punch.
Thank
Like,
you.
I mean,
You know what's crazy is people that have
I'm a
seen it
little
have literally
intimidated
asked me
right
if I've,
now,
like,
yeah.
I've been to jail because they're like, where the fuck did you learn how to fight? And I'm like, okay, like fuck you. Like it was just stunt people, but like okay, thanks. Like you know, but that scene
I
was
mean,
a
you gotta
really
own
heavy
that, though.
scene,
You gotta be
and
like-
I was in a really good mood that day. And so was Mella. So when we knew we were doing that, we were like, okay, let's kind of like, you know, we like hugged each other right before. And we were like, let's get it. Like, you know, because it was her first big film too. So, and me and her actually grew up in the same neighborhood. Like we knew each other, you know, from home. So it was just like this surreal sort of moment because we knew it was going to be epic as fuck. So we just, you know.
Sometimes movie fights look so choreographed, but that one didn't. That lived up to every indie fight scene that I've seen for a long time.
It definitely was one of my favorite scenes. And it's also really crazy because when you think about it, like, you would never expect it to happen. But when you really think about it, like, that's how hurt Haley was. You know? Like, she has no family, no support system. Like, she's not even friends with the bitch anymore. And she asked her, like, for help. Like, the one person she felt like she could let her guard down, and she kind of, like, laughed at her. And so, like, the whole fight, like, wasn't from anger. It was from being hurt. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't angry. She was just really, like, heartbroken that her friend could do that. Like,
And a scene that like showed, I think, like the opposite side of that was the last breakfast that Haley has, and she's sitting across from her daughter watching her eat breakfast. Room 323. That's the room. You know, put it on that bill. And you didn't speak in the scene, but the way that you emoted or conveyed the emotion that you knew that this might be the last time having this kind of moment with your daughter was so powerful. And I think like the audience here, the audience every time, you've seen this film obviously millions of times, like it always connects whenever you see that happen. And what was your direction like for someone who, for this being their first film,
I'm
that
not
in
even
itself was
joking.
impressive?
During that scene, Sean had me sit there, and after I did the line, he was just giving me emotions and was like, look this, look that, look this. And I was sitting there and said, like making all these faces of different emotions. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, he just was giving me emotions, and I was just trying to convey them with my fucking face.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next for you after, you know, the Florida project? You had the response to the film has been great for all of you, for everyone in the cast, from the director on down. What's next for you, like on a personal level?
So I have a really cool Gap commercial with SZA and Metro Boomin and a bunch of really cool people. It airs during the Grammys. It's out right now, but yeah, it airs like officially during the Grammys, which is really dope. Like, they picked a really cool group of people to like remix the brand, and so I'm excited about that. And then I start filming a show next week that I can't say what it is.
Okay.
And then I got a movie in the summer.
Under lock and key. See,
Coming
now
up.
you're busy.
So yeah,
This is some
it's
awesome
great.
stuff.
Yeah,
So
I'm
thank
really
you so
excited.
much for your time.
Thank you for
Everyone,
having me.
go see the Florida Project.
Go
It's an
see
awesome film.
the Florida Project.